Some of my favorite rock artists of the 80s are Motley Crue, Poison, and Guns N' Roses.
You know, I'm a kid of the 80s, so I was listening to those bands back then. So that
I'll turn those down a little bit. Yep, another long week of work. Thank God it's over. Oh, this road sure is busy today. Wow. Must be something going on out on the interstate. Everybody's taking the side road. Hello, Ashley. What's up with you? You doing all right? Well, good. Hello, viewer. What's happening? Good to see you in there. Yep. So I hear all the weirdos, freaks, and losers are going to be marching on Washington in 50 states around the country this weekend. Damn, y'all. The fuck? Damn, cop almost hit me in the rear. That was scary. Motherfucker come out of nowhere. Jeez. Whew. That was the last thing I expected to see. Anyway, for a No Kings rally, protest, or whatever. Since when do we have a king in the U.S.? I thought the United States Revolution and the Bill of Rights and Declaration of Independence and the Constitution took care of all that. Boy, people got nothing else better to do, complain. We live in the freest nation in the world, and people want to act a fool. Shame on you. You know, they keep talking about how stupid, you know, people are around them when they're the ones out there acting like a bunch of fucking idiots. Anyway, you can't have civilized conversation with these people either. You know, they want to resort to calling names and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. You know, these fucking weirdos ain't got nothing else better to do with their time. I can think of a lot of things I'd rather do than go out acting like a fool. But you can't tell them nothing. Yep. We have a king. Who's the king? Tell me, Ashley. Does his name start with J? Jesus, right? Jesus is king. Space Ace. We got a king. All of us modern days. I have no idea what you're talking about, Ashley. I wish I knew. You put my other glasses on. I took them off because they're dirty. But I could probably see good enough to get home. You don't know? Try and think of a different way to type it and tell me, and we'll find out if you know or not. Okay? Anyway, in my area, it's supposed to storm all day tomorrow. So maybe we'll get lucky and they'll call it off. You know, this is something that's going on across the whole United States apparently. And, you know, it's the usual suspects. It's the, you know, liberals. It's all the, you know, multicolored hair. Want people to look at them. But if anybody looks at them and says anything, they get all offended. It's the crybabies who aren't working, have nothing else better to do than sit at home all day in grandma's basement and play on a computer. It's all the fucking weirdo pedophiles out there that they fit right in along with the rest of them. You know, it's fucking nuts. These fucking people. Jeez. The world sure as hell ain't what it was in the 80s, that's for sure. You know, we had thick skin back then. We didn't let shit bother us. We didn't go out in the street showing our ass, or out in public showing our ass. You know. Then you got, you know, I don't know. It's fucked up. It's fucking evil. But I guess to each his own. I don't know why they think they're doing any good. You know, still got, and they say it's a no kings, but I know what it's really about. It's really about President Trump. You know, they live, like I said, in the freest country in the land or in the world, but yet they want to go out and demonstrate and protest against freedom. I don't get it. Sound like to me what they want somebody to take over. They, you know, they hate capitalism. All of them hate capitalism. And, you know, they want bigger government so that the government will take care of them. You know, they want to sit at home and collect checks and stuff like that. You know, and they got this fascination with Nazis. I don't know what it is. You know, they want to call everybody fascist and Nazis and stuff like that, when it's actually them who are the fascists and Nazis. Go figure. The very things that they're demonstrating against are the things that they uphold. Fuck. Shit. Dumbasses everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a dumbass. I don't know. You know who else is kings? The people, the slaves in Scotland and Ireland back in the day. We don't live in those times anymore. You know, we live in a free and sovereign nation, and they keep forgetting that they have a constitution. You know, that doesn't allow, that limits the amount of power that the government has. You know, checks and balances and stuff. But yeah, I've had 6 people come on, everybody left. You don't want to distract the concentration signal cut out for a minute. It does. I'm going down 70 again. It always cuts out on 70. I don't know. What's up, viewers? What's happening? Yeah. I guess people don't want to talk. I wonder where my guy from California, Mr. Bagenwild. Oh yeah, that's real fucking smart, dumbass. Get on down the fucking road, stupid. Jesus Christ. Fucking idiots. That's a good way to fucking get smashed. They'll pull right out in front of me. I'm driving a great big silver fucking SUV. They act like they don't even fucking see me. It's probably somebody else smoking weed in their car, getting stoned as they're going down the road. Fucking stoned and stupid. As usual. Yeah, it's the usual suspects. Oh, mighty damn. Hello, viewers. Yeah, I see y'all out there. Probably won't get any conversation though. Yep, see, I had 7, now I've only got 3. I guess now I got 4. Yeah. Anyway. So these people should know by now that, you know, their protests and shit ain't gonna do any good. These bleeding heart liberals. You know, liberalism is a disease. It's a mental disease that eats away at people's souls. You know, back in the 80s, was it the 80s? Ronald Reagan, you know, back in the early 80s, Ronald Reagan, President of the United States at that time, did a speech about liberalism and said that the destruction of America would be because of the liberalism or the liberal way of thinking. And I'll be damned if he ain't right. I've seen the United States do nothing but deteriorate over the last 10 years. And it's because there's like 2% of the population can't stand it unless they get their way. So they want to bitch and whine and moan and cry about it. Make fools of themselves in the streets. You guys need to, here's the thing to do. Go to YouTube or go anywhere and just pull up mugshots from Portland, Oregon. And you can see, like, you can almost see the mental illness in these people's faces. It's fucking unbelievable. And they all look the same. They're all fucking weirdos. They all have multicolored hair. Most of them have one of those fucking, you know, hog hooks through their nose. You know what I mean? Progressives. What the fuck you know about progressives, Ashley? They're not progressive. They're not progressing in anything. If anything, they're taking us backwards in society. You know? I think you better leave the politicking to me. Progressives. Yeah, okay. If that's what you think, I don't know who you've been talking to, but they got you barking up the wrong tree, sweetie. I'm sorry to tell you. They haven't progressed in anything. They're doing nothing to make the communities, any communities, better. They're doing nothing to make the unity of the country better. They want to attack and destroy and burn and call names and yell and scream at the people who are trying to bring a little security back to the U.S., you know? People are strange animals, that's for sure. And in some places, liberals only want peace. No, they don't. No, the liberals don't want peace, Ashley. They want to beat everybody else's ideals into their own ideals. If they wanted peace, then tell me why they're out fucking destroying shit, setting fires, acting like a bunch of fucking hooligans. Remember when I used to call people PWT, poor white trash? Well, that's what most of them are. It's poor white trash, because they won't go out and get a job. You know, most of these people, these protesters, are getting paid to be out there. You know, by big corporations and you know, I venture to guess George Soros, because his name keeps coming up in everything. You know, these people can't They don't have jobs. How the fuck can they go out and afford to do shit like that? You know, and have all of them have the same kind of uniforms. You know, the helmet, the dark clothing, the fucking backpacks. You know, and all that bullshit. They didn't buy that shit on their own, and it's all exactly the same. They got somebody funding them. You know. I really hate that you think that the liberals want peace, because they don't. They want conformity. That's what they want. They want everybody to conform to what they think and how they feel. You know, instead of doing constructive things, go pave a parking lot. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things they could be doing, more constructive things they could be doing with their time, and showing up at ICE facilities making asses of themselves. You know, getting violent. Fucking nutso. Maybe you need to spend a little more time researching. You know? I don't know. I could lose my signal. Okay, well, that's all right. Probably saying shit you don't want to hear no way. And no matter what I say to you, you know, you apparently have been talking to somebody that thinks liberalism is okay. It's not. It's far from okay. You know, when you tell them truth and they get pissed off about it and they attack you, you know, with bad words and, you know, name calling. I cannot tell you since 2016, I think I've been called a racist and a bigot more than I have in my entire life. You know, those are two words that I didn't hear until 2016. You know, it blows my mind how these people think. You know, how can they live in reality and their reality be so fucking distorted to think that just because they, you know, go out and raise hell and bitch and moan and fucking, you know, destroy things and attack people, that it's going to make a difference. If anything, it's just going to make shit worse. You know? They're a bunch of fucking, you know, this fucking Antifa group, nothing but a bunch of fucking Nazi terrorists. That's all they are. Commie, fascist, Nazi terrorists. That's all they are. Anarchists. Because they don't want to talk to people. You know, when you go and see these little clips on YouTube or TikTok, for instance, or wherever else, you know, they're not showing you what's really going on. They want to glorify it, make it seem like it's just a big peaceful, you know, street party, and it's not. It's far from it. I've seen videos from people who were actually there and tried to talk to these people, and they're not interested in conversation. They're not interested in, you know, trying to have dialogue and, you know, trying to reason with people. No, they want to get violent and attack, call names, you know, get in people's faces, you know. Well, they say we're the bad guys. Yeah, okay. I've seen it firsthand, and I've had to deal with them little fuckers firsthand too, you know. Back in, like, I guess it was like 2016, we were going through this whole thing with the Confederate monuments here in St. Louis, you know. I had to deal with them little assholes. I know what their game is, and I know their tactics, you know. I guess nobody's hearing me. But I still got 3 people watching. That's good. Yeehaw. Well, 2 now. It's like 1 person dropped out. fucking traffic is unbelievable. Everybody's taking. Oh, we must have a hockey game tonight. That might be what's going on. 70 eastbound 70. Well. Talk about something fun. Let's see. Well, I had planned on going to something called Legends and Lanterns this weekend at St. Charles, but it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And I'm not about to go out and spend my day in the rain, that's for sure. I might call the place where I got my tires and see if I can get in tomorrow to have my tires rotated and balanced. That needs to be done. Excuse me, working class. I know that's not polite to do while I'm doing a live feed, but you know, it's my live feed. I don't give a shit. I do what I want. I say what I want. I talk about who I want, where I want, how I want, when I want. How about that shit? And any other adjective you can think of to put in there. Or adverb. I don't know. Shit, it's been so long I've forgotten what a lot of that shit is. But I know words, and I know what words mean. Unless they're made up. Like, you know, a lot of these fucking words that people use today are, you think you're gonna take a nap. That sounds like a good idea, Ashley, taking a nap. That sounds like an excellent idea. Only I got shit to do. I got to go downstairs in my man cave, break down some boxes. I got to go to Costco, pick up a few things from Costco. I need to get some more ice cream. I'm out of ice cream. But the ice cream that we get, we can only get at Costco because it's organic chocolate fudge ice cream. Some good shit. But you know, I got the yard mowed last week. Oh, excuse me. Working class. How many of y'all out there is working class? Show of hands. How many of you out there are working class? Come on, raise your hand. Let me see. Probably none of you. Well, I know Ashley's working class at least. I don't know. I got 3 people watching. Nobody's saying anything. And you wouldn't have to worry about boxes. Yeah, but I'd have to worry about them eventually because I still need to break them down. As a matter of fact, I got a box waiting on me when I get home. I ordered a record last week. It's I can't even remember the name of the album now, but it's old psychedelic rock. I've been listening to a lot of that stuff lately, psychedelic rock. It's pretty cool stuff, you know. It's not quite Pink Floyd, but it's a little bit more than Rush, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know. Rush is more of a progressive rock, whereas Pink Floyd's more psychedelic, but they're kind of in between. I don't know, but it ought to be pretty good. But I just bought it, you know, because I wanted to try it. I'd heard they had these like auctions, right? And I had a few minutes to check out a couple of the songs that were on the album, like ones that had really interesting names. So I checked them out, and they were pretty good. So I went ahead and bought them. I went ahead and bid on the record, and I think I got it for like, I don't know, $20 or something like that. But it's a 1969 group. is old, but you know the record's still in really good shape from what I saw, and the cover was in pretty decent shape from what I remember. This guy from a place called Collectco over in Tennessee, he goes and buys people's album collections, and like every couple of months they do a psychedelic Sunday, and that's what I did. I listened to it on a psychedelic Sunday. It was like 2 Sundays ago, and or it might have been last Sunday. I don't remember. My days, I've been working so many hours, my days fucking run together anymore. But we'll see. I'll put it on the old turntable when I get home after I open it. Maybe I'll play it while I'm breaking down boxes. I got a mess down there to clean up. Stop ordering shit. Yeah, no kidding. I need to. I guess everybody's heard about Ace Frehley dying. The guy from Kiss, you know, the star man, Ace Frehley. Yeah, I guess everybody's heard about him dying yesterday. That's pretty sad news. You know, I saw Kiss January 5th, 1978. And yes, I said 1978 at the Charlotte Coliseum. It was my very first concert. I was 9 years old. I'll never forget that as long as I live. I paid $5. Well, I didn't. I got the ticket for Christmas. And that was my very first concert ever. You know, you think, God, man, how many albums did Kiss do? I mean, they must have done like, I don't know, 30 or 40 albums. Because Kiss has been around for like 45, 50 years or something like that. And maybe even longer than that. But you know, the guy was 74 years old. Yeah, he was 74 years old. He had a stroke and fell, and never did recover. He hit his head, I guess. When he fell, he hit his head, and he never did recover. You know, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what that's like, you know, to like be standing there and just all of a sudden not be standing. But I don't think I've ever passed out before. I can't remember a time if I did. I did remember one time when I was a teenager, though. I fell on a pair of skates, and everything went black for a minute because I hit my head, but I was okay. You know, when you're a kid, you're a lot more durable than when you're an adult. Stop it, not stop out. I have to talk text. Or stop at. I don't know what you're saying, Ashley. Anyway, I gotta go. Guys, have a good day. Have a good weekend. I may do a live feed this weekend. I don't know. I say that every weekend, you know. Always be on the lookout for like some short videos or something like that. But guys, take it easy. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.